Good morning. Good morning. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by DoveMen Plus Care, and being part of that team in 2022 and 2021 reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 people. 100,000 dads and fathers. They're people too, but let's be specific. Dads and fathers around the world. So as always, I'd like to say welcome to the Morning Vibe. Good morning, Ryan Knight. What's going on?
Good day, Dr. Vibe. Things are going great. For those that don't know who Ryan Knight is, I'm the co-founder of the Afro Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in and help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. I'm also an entrepreneur. I run a company called Detailing Nights. We provide mobile, waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses, to their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based, eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And the summers, this morning had a real autumn vibe to it. So, but hey, we usually go till about mid-December. So
wow,
fall does not hinder what we do with the cleaning. But yes, I can feel it in the air, the chill.
Yes. All right. Good stuff. So let's do some house stuff. As always, please subscribe if you can to the Dr. Vibe. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe show and hit the notification button on YouTube. That helps us on YouTube too. Also, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe show on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you'd like to advertise your business and or service, please, on this platform, because I host for at least 4 live shows a week. So there you go. Lots of exposure. Email me at dr.vibe@vibeshow.com. Also encouraging you to join the Morning Vibe Discord group. I keep on saying I got to spend some time this weekend putting in some interesting information around a number of different things on that. So you guys, come on, join. And then coming up on Monday's show, Dr. Tamari Katosa, Associate Professor of Sociology at Brock University. He's going to be talking about his book, Appealing Because He is Appalling, Black Masculinities, Colonialism, and Erotic Racism. Yes, that's a mouthful, but he's going to be on Monday's show. Also, we just want to do, a lot of people jumped in already, so we got to look at this. Klaus says, Good morning. Lisa Aronson on LinkedIn, good morning. David A. Hughes, all the way from Australia. Nice to be here at the start of your show. Morning for you, and it's 11:03 p.m. in the morning. No, in the evening in Australia this morning. So all the way from Australia. Thank you, David. And David, email me again. I didn't get your email to join the Discord group, so please do that. Morning Fitness IQ Cam, otherwise known as Red and White. L. Brian Jenkins, MA, good morning. GBKM, one of our Black media families in the house. Kenny, what is going on? Good, man. Good. You're saying good morning. Great job. Right back to you, Kenny. Right back to you. And Lisa has an organization called ASCCommunityFoundation.com.
Ashe Community Foundation.
Yes. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for stopping in this morning. What's been going on in your world, Ryan?
What has been going on? Last night was able to head to a networking event done by the Whitby Chamber of Commerce. So they were doing an appreciation event for their members and honoring some of the members that have been there for 20 years. Some have been there for 50 years as members of the chamber. So definitely that longevity is inspiring. And yeah, my business partner, Corey Ford, he helps with a lot of the marketing that we do here at ACBN. There's a lot of promotional printing. So if you came to the conference and got your color changing cup from ACBN, he's the one that printed
Color
those.
changing cup.
Oh, I will get you yours. You might have missed your goodie bag, so I'll get you your.
You got to demo that product live. You got to
get a little Monday. I will have my
quick little promo on it. That sounds really cool.
Oh, it was a hit, and people still text me pictures because if you put different drinks in it, but it turns blue. So now if you're drinking Sprite, it's blue, or you're drinking milk, it's so cool. It's so
Come on, you're kidding me.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Oh,
that's
man.
great.
So yours.
I'd appreciate that. Opal Inspired. Good morning. Actually, I was with Opal Inspired yesterday, and we were giving feedback. I'm helping a lady entrepreneur who has probably one of the few. How to describe it? Inclusive kid puzzles. So it represents all different diversities and cultures. It's a kid's puzzle, and we provided feedback to the lady who created it, and she was really appreciative, and she's asked me and Opal to be on the community review board. So she'll be asking our input as she releases her second puzzle.
Gotcha.
So it was really cool. So FitNet's IQ, Cam says she wants one of those glasses. And she goes, how do we get one? So is that for sale?
No, so we typically give them away as, how people give away pens. So we give away the cups.
Wow.
But we'll definitely get it to the fan. Maybe we'll do giveaways and we'll give away the cups.
Yes. Do a demo on it, then we can give it away.
Yes. We have a few left, so
that's fantastic. Yes. That is a wild. So anything else been going on since Monday?
Not that I can think of. That is
kids going back to school soon.
Yeah, it's this back to school shopping's been happening, so trying to get ahead of that. Did want to give a shout out to Ann Tomlinson from the Black Consortium. She's doing a backpack drive for kids going back to school.
Those events are coming on. Getting close to school. Yes.
And I did see Meridian Credit Union. You can drop off backpacks at some of their branches. So if you bank with Meridian, be sure to support that.
And there's On Track Accounting Solutions, best cup ever from Lorraine. Ever. I love that. Ever from Lorraine. That's cool.
Yes.
L. Brian Jenkins says, please send me advice. See, you see.
Okay.
Yo, 100%. You better tell the creator of that cup they've got something that's an idea here. And good morning, Karen Rowe. How are you, Karen?
Awesome. Good to have Brian, he is from Chicago. He was one of the speakers at our first conference talking about social enterprises, and he does a lot of work training entrepreneurs. It's really excellent, the work that he does. And the co-working space and coffee shop that they have in Chicago. So shout out. Thanks for tuning in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Family, this is fantastic. Well, we want to say thank you as always for taking time out of your positive productive schedule with us. And wherever you're watching this, please subscribe. Wherever you are watching this, please subscribe so you get notified about the epic conversations that we have. We're still trying to get rest from last Monday's marathon with
it didn't feel like a marathon. It just
it was just flowing with David Archer. I know that we spoke after that, and I can confirm now David is going to be coming on once a month to talk about different aspects of Black mental health and Black thought process. And I believe his next appearance, so I'm just promoting it already, he's going to be on the last Monday of each month for September, October, and November. And I believe September 25th, he's going to be coming back on, and he's going to talk about one of the subjects that came up, one of the many conversation topics that came up during the conversation. He's going to be talking about whiteness is fake.
Oh, boy.
There you go is right. There you go. Good morning, Frequency Event Promotions. Yes. Thank you so much. Fitness IQ. Yay. So it looks like she's happy. She's happy that David is coming back. I think David was overwhelmed in a good way about what happened. He was just like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
wow. He was overwhelmed. We have Marjorie Taylor. Hello, Ryan, listening
Shout out
in.
from Brampton and United Achievers. Hey,
How?
Marjorie.
Oh, man, I haven't heard that organization's name in a long time.
Yes. I believe their scholarship should be coming around again. So, Marjorie, if you can put the information for the scholarship that you do in the chat, we'll definitely share that.
Okay. So we got a lot of family here. And again, we want to thank you for your support. Like we're getting more, slowly but surely, we're doing it organically, building up our family. We don't call it, I don't call those C words. Like the only C word I use is constellation. I don't use the other things. And we're having a lot of fun here this morning in regards to this conversation. So we have a new friend to the Morning Vibe that some of you may know. I think a lot of you don't know. So let's give a little background on who we have today. Today, we're very blessed and highly favored to have Nadine Williams. Just give me a second here. Excuse me. She's a multi-award winning poet, author, and arts educator. She's a Jamaican-Canadian who has published 3 collections of poetry, 2 children's books, and over 15 volumes of literature for Black History Month. These creations are a staple in the curricula of several schools in Canada in the celebration of Black history. She's a regular presenter at schools across Canada, including local universities, and was a distinguished guest speaker at the prestigious African Writers Club at the University of Vienna in 2019. She's a recipient of several awards from all levels of government, as well as the York Regional Police Deeds Speak Award in 2014, received parliamentary mention for significant contribution to Black history in Canada in 2019, and was recently named among the 100 accomplished Black Canadian women in 2022. She's read poetry for maybe someone you know, Michelle Obama, the Right Honorable Michelle Jean, former Governor General of Canada, the Prime Ministers of both Canada and Jamaica, and is the resident poet for the Caribbean Counselor Corps. And her work is exhibited at the Art Gallery of Mississauga, the Bank of Canada Museum, Old Town Hall Gallery in Newmarket, and the Canadian Museum of History. So she doesn't sleep, basically. She doesn't sleep. So we are going to welcome to the stage and Ms. Nadine Williams. I'm hoping that Ms. Williams, her camera is on, waiting for her camera to turn on. There we go. So now we're going to bring Ms. Nadine Williams to the stage. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Vibe. Good morning, Ryan. How are you guys doing?
It is, I'm doing fantastic and good to see you. Don't know if you remember me, but I remember you when you did your piece for Kathleen Wynne and the Ontario Liberal Caucus at their Black History Month event. This must have been 5, 6, I don't remember how many years, but yes, I became a fan since then. So it's a pleasure to see you again, Nadine.
Awesome. I've done it about 10 times down at Queen's Park. So it could be any number of years there. It's great to see you guys again, and thank you so much for having me this morning.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to this conversation that we will be having.
Okay, and before we go any further, I want to give a big shout out to Wendy Vincent of Convo Media, who made this epic conversation happen. So that's absolutely. Before we go a little bit deeper on what's been going on with you, can you share a little bit about your background to our audience?
Certainly, I'm a Jamaican-Canadian. Actually, I'll do it through poetry. I remember someone saying, whatever you do, start with poetry. So I'm most known for the poem, The Immigrant Child, and it gives a little bit of a biographical background. I am the immigrant child, born and bred on the fingers of bananas, backs of chickens, hearts of breadfruits, livers, tripes, and kidneys of cows. The immigrant child whose forefathers hoarded their monies or through what they called pardners to ensure that on September mornings, there would be no bawling, since I, like the rest, could stand with the best and big up my chest and proudly tell the teachers good morning. Yes, I am the immigrant child whose very large family shared 2 bedrooms and 1 veranda, who fumbled with bottled torches at nights to find the toilets. And though I may reside in 4 and 5 bedroom houses with en-suites attached, there was a time when I had roofs that were thatched and patched to keep the waters at bay. Hey, hear me when I say, I am the immigrant child who has embarked upon a land of promise, a land foretold many years ago, a land where milk and honey flows. The immigrant child whose migration and subsequent integration has made me a proud Canadian, entitled to all that the shores of Nova Scotia, Manitoba, British Columbia, Newfoundland, and Labrador has in store. As much sap as my tongue can lap from the bark of the maple trees, while mastering as many degrees as my tuition fees deems feasible. I am the immigrant child, destined to fulfill the goodwill of those that sent me, those who themselves knew not this land of promise. I am the immigrant child whose rich heritage oozes from my pores as I try to ensure that the doors of these great memories are open wide to impart a sense of humility and pride while being a guide to this generation and the generations after this. I am the immigrant child, born and bred on the fingers of bananas, backs of chickens, hearts of breadfruits, livers, tripes, and kidneys of cows. And I am the immigrant child who will die humbly holding dear the heart of the breadfruit, the immigrant child. So that's a little about me. Originally.
Wow. The
absolute
best. That is the I've done over 4,000 of these. That is the absolute best intro someone has ever given.
100%.
Hands down. Wow.
Thank you.
I don't think we need to do anything else. We can leave now. You can enjoy the rest of your day. OMG. That was, man, I'm going to have to get that clip and use it as a promo. I got to do. And let's see this. Oh my gosh. This is Fitness IQ's going. Encore. No, that encore's at the end, not at the beginning. Frequency event promotions goes bravo. Okay, this is good. Well,
Thank you.
Did poetry find you or did you find poetry?
Both. I would say both. So this really all started for me in the countryside in a little district called Enfield in St. Mary, Jamaica, growing up with grandparents. In the country, we had no electricity in my home. And so reading was our entertainment at night. My mom left for Canada, left me with 11 auntie and uncles and grandparents. And so she's the only one sending back things from foreign, So I was a little bit of a pampered child, I have to admit. And so I was your designated reader. So I've had an audience my whole life. We would gather around the kerosene oil lamp and I would read all the books that could be found at the local library and from my cousins and family in Kingston. So I was a reader as a child, and then also listening to the oral traditions passed down, especially by my grandfather. My grandmother would be the one to travel into Kingston for all the things on the weekends. And then my grandfather would gather us around his foot on the veranda and tell stories. And so that is the genesis of this, really. It came out in 1994. I went through a really rough time in my personal life and writing became my outlet. It kind of just flowed naturally. It became my savior, poetry, really. I would share it with everyone who would listen. Throughout the years, I would hear, oh, Nadine, you're so talented. You got to do something with that. And it has just evolved into the most beautiful flower. I gave up my full-time job downtown Toronto, where I had a quite the lucrative position as a supervisor in a travel insurance firm. I gave up my house that sat on the ravine, gave up my car for 10 years. I took the bus here, there, and everywhere. Wow. I would really just volunteer my time a lot. Sometimes I would get a Tim Hortons gift card as payment, or an Indigo book gift card, Indigo bookstore gift card. I started cooking lunch for my children. I have 3 children and a grandson. Cooking lunch and bringing it to their schools, reading them stories over the lunch hour, and other kids would join in. Then the librarian I caught her ear. She would then invite me to read for different commemorative events at the school. One librarian told another librarian. And then so for 15 years now, I've been an artist in education, working in schools. I've been as far away as Vienna in Austria, England, and so forth. And so, yes, that's a little bit of the background.
I'm curious, is there any performance that sticks out for you over the years?
You know, each and every one of them is unique and special. You've mentioned Queen's Park. You know, those repetitive invitations make you feel sweet, like, you know, say you're on the right path, you know?
Yes, yes.
And so also reading when MP Selena Caesar Chavon was in Ottawa, she invited me to open for the Prime Minister. That was also a huge, you know, we celebrate Black History Month in Ottawa. I mean, you know, the Queen's Park vibe that we have there in this small room.
Yes,
but
yes.
But the feds, they do it big at the Canadian Museum of History, where hundreds, if not thousands of Canadians from all over the country. And so touching that stage was quite magical. So too, I don't have to tell you about the stage with Mrs. Michelle Obama. Like, I mean,
how did that happen?
Wow.
Well, I met the president of the Economic Club of Canada at an event that was held at the Toronto Stock Exchange. And I'm very much an extrovert. Anytime you see me put on my clothes and leave through this door, I'm not going to just sit down in a little corner, because I'm on a mission. I'm not just there to look pretty. And, you know, so I really work the room. I introduce myself. I drop 2 lines of poetry, especially if I'm feeling very, you know, nice, like this morning where I'm energized. And, you know, there's sometimes when you feel a little more introverted and kind of, but most times, like 9 out of 10, my energy is all the way up. And so working the room, I met Rhiannon Trail at the time, and you know, told her about myself being a poet, and asked her if there's any opportunities to just remember me. That's what I always said. If you guys know of an opportunity where you could use a poet, because we know that every day of the week there's a breakfast, lunch, and dinner somewhere. Right. And so especially now with COVID having brought in this Zoom and Google Meets or whatever online, we can do it all over the world. So not even a week later, I got a phone call from her.
Okay.
Not even a week. And she says to me, you know, Nadine, you were saying that, you know, and she goes, how would you like to open for Michelle? I'm like, girl, I thought we were friends. Why are you lying to me today? It wasn't a lie at all. It wasn't a lie. It was the truth. And let me tell you, I met her. She called me beautiful. Yo, nobody can talk to me after that, you know. She called me beautiful. She's like, beautiful Nadine. So we took a picture together, one that I will cherish. I also have a letter from her, because I gifted her a copy of my book, With This Pen I Do Tell. I married my pen. My titles are The Culmination of Marriage, Between Me and My Pen, With This Pen I Do Tell, Pen on Fire. Oh yes. In fact, today I'm gonna be displaying down at the Globe and Mail building, selling Pen on Fire. So to all my listeners, make sure y'all come down to the Globe and Mail building this afternoon, 6 to 8.
Promote.
Promote. But I gifted her With This Pen I Do Tell, and about a week later, I got an email from the office of Barack and Michelle Obama. I jumped out of my skin right away. And they wanted my mailing address, so she mailed me a thank you letter.
Yes.
I even framed the envelope. Let me tell you, it's sitting right over here over my desk. The envelope and the letter, it's framed for all time. And so that's really how that came about. It's a huge blessing. Also, the Jamaican Diaspora Conference opening for, at the time, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller. That was also a huge blessing. Yes.
Oh, wow. Well,
that is true.
And there is one other that I have to tell you about. Yes. So in all my writings, just one. Okay. This is a noteworthy one. In all my writings, I do what I call a tribute to Yard. I'm big on writing in patois and promoting the Jamaican culture. I remember reading at this school in Malton. I had to have been like maybe around 2012, somewhere thereabouts. And there was a little boy that, you know, there are times when kids have teachers sit really close to them because they have trouble sitting for long, right? So there's this little boy that caught my eye. You know, the teacher had him very close to her. After the event was done, he comes up to me and he says, "Miss, from my mother carry me come on this cold country. I first me ever hear something sweet. So beg your picture now." And so I had just read a poem called Kerosene Lamp that speaks to where all this writing started. It goes, I'll give you just a little snippet. Thank God, so by the kerosene lamplight in a picturesque district called Juniper Pen in St. Mary Parish, Jamaica, West Indies. My loving grandfather would call me when the sun go down, folk check to them roots, and the peony wally come out to play. I'll stop there. But so that was a poem that I read. Hopefully your audience kind of understand, Pat.
They do.
You guys
they get it.
you understand, Pat, all right? You guys heard?
Yes.
You understood?
Yes.
I'm like 50%, but yes.
I'm good.
Yeah, usually I translate it into English. But in the effort of time, in the interest of time, I will move on. So the teacher came up to me after and said, you know, how they were having such a difficult time with this young man and how she saw the light come on in his face when I read that poem, right? He was having a hard time adjusting. He started to tell me how he was responsible for catching the chicken and the goats for slaughter. Okay. And how it was traumatic for him. You know, we kill chicken and pig and goat right there in our backyards in Jamaica. And so it was a little traumatizing for him, I could tell. And so I was able to then sort of relay that information to the teachers, and they, you know, they have some information to work with. So there's been many, just in the spring before school went down, I remember we were having a writing activity at a school. So the idea is that we throw out all these words and then I start with an opening line and then kids would take turns and come up and add. And this little boy come up to me and he whispers and he asked me to stay close because he don't know if he spell. So, you know, so many heartwarming memories throughout this. It's been 15 years, you know, 15 years since I've been doing this.
The versatility from prime minister, presidential, all the way down to the boy in Malton that needs to hear your voice. You are there. It's that man. My eyes are watering. Like, sorry, go on, Dr. Vibe.
Okay. All right. So what we're gonna so
there's one other. Wait. There is one.
See what I said? See what I said?
There's one other. As you spoke of the Chamber of Commerce out there in Whitby, I met with a gentleman from the Ontario, the Black Chamber of Commerce. It feels like just before the pandemic, so maybe 2019. And I shared a poem with him called Black Boy, which speaks to the violence that the black on black violence. And it's written in patois as well. Black boy, me tired for weep for you. And it goes on and on. And the grown man like had tears rolling down his eyes. So as you spoke about tears, it evoked that memory.
All right. Well, you see, we're having a low energy conversation this morning. So what we're going to do is all the things I say at the end of each one of my conversations that I host is don't just manage your time, manage your energy. So we're going to take an energy break just for a moment. And we've heard some of Nadine's journey, but we're going to get to some of the stuff she's done recently and some of the many accomplishments that we'd like her to share about today. So we're going to take a quick little break. You're watching The Morning Vibe. We have, the number one person who gives intros. I may even hire her to write my intro after what she did today, because I'm telling you that was all that. So we'll be back in just a minute. The comments are flying. The energy is good. And this is the place to be. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Take care.
You know, and that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harriet Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm I'm one of the Harriet Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. No, really, the rappers get all the attention. You know, seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, you know, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Like the twerkers and the, you know, just people that, you know, don't always represent the best of us, you know, the diversity, you know, like people like Dr. Vibe. Like, everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr.
Really
Vibe he's trying to do good work for Black people.
Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him.
Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show.
Dr. Bob is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. You know, a lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. You know, helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Bob is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Bob show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway.
We are back, and thank you, Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins, for the shout out as always. And I mean, energy plus this morning. I mean, this is amazing. Really, really good. And if you've missed the first part, please watch the replay. And we're going to do a bit of this on Instagram now. And anyone who wants to join on Instagram Live, we're going to catch a bit of this. But Nadine, you've got a lot of things to share. So one of the things, we're in Emancipation Day month. Can you tell us your passion and what you've done to help further the cause of Emancipation Day and Emancipation Day month in this country, but also globally?
Absolutely. I'm currently working on an art installation project, and this is in celebration of the International Decade for People of African Descent. It's called The Fabric of Our Being. So as was mentioned, aside from the 5 books that I've written, I have 15 Black History Month posters. My 2017 poster was in celebration of the International Decade for People of African Descent. I became aware of the decade the year prior and decided to make it my subject. That whole year, I found that hardly any hands were going up to say they were aware that we're in this decade. So I decided the following year to resurrect the poster and to create a quilt. And so to date, we have about 120 of those quilts. But while I started to embark on this journey, because the idea was to put them up in airports across Canada, that way people coming through can, read the artist statement and become aware. I started thinking, who in Canada is responsible for erecting monuments? And this is when I stumbled upon the Historic Sites and Monuments Board of Canada. Their responsibility is to suggest to the Minister of the Environment for designation people of historical persons, sites, and events of significance here in Canada. And when I started looking over the designations today, there are over 2,000, and a very small fraction of African-Canadian contributions were registered there. And so I decided to nominate a few. I started with the enslavement of Africans in Canada, went on to the West Indian domestic scheme, George Dixon, whose plaque was just unveiled in Halifax 2 months ago. I flew out to Halifax for that. And then the most recent one that dropped on August 1st was celebrations of Emancipation Day. And so that one, so not only did I get enslavement, I also got emancipation. So I can now put on my hat and retire, I've done my, no, but I'm pretty excited about that. So the only plaque that's been unveiled to date is the George Dixon. So more excitement will come as the plaques for enslavement of Africans in Canada, the West Indian domestic scheme, and Emancipation Day celebrations, when those plaques are being unveiled. And I should make mention as well that I had a co-nominator of Emancipation Day celebrations. Rosemary Sadler's nomination came in after mine. And so we the more the merrier, right? It doesn't belong to any one of us. And the more we learn, we teach. Rosemary had also nominated some other subjects as well that dropped around the same time as mine in 2020. Wow. So it is that it's not that we don't have subjects to nominate. It is that we're unaware of this board's existence. And so they have hired me. They hired me in the past to help to educate Canadians to get more diverse representation. So I did some of that work as well. And so, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, is it possible to go from enslavement to emancipation to now empowerment? Can that be like that next future thinking for our community?
Empowerment as a significant event.
More so work
Black
in progress.
Empowerment.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, like, all of us can nominate, right? There are certain, so the site is there and it gives the parameters. It's pretty there's so many subjects that we can, right now I have 10 others before them, and the communication, yes, the communication keep coming, and so I know that quite a few other significant ones have passed first reading, and so I'm now in conversations, because the historians will reach out for context, for content, and they will also ask for suggestions in terms of where the plaques will be placed. So I've been in conversations, but there are about 10 others before the board. I'm excited for those. Yeah, but I'm also just very interested in putting that information out for other people, young people, especially in schools. I tell students about this because there are people that's really interested in history, and they can go diving and find the different subjects for nomination, so they can be designated.
So before we go any further, there's been a load of conversations. So I need to catch up for our wonderful family. So Frequency Event Promotions is saying bravo, bravo, bravo. But of all the things you're just dropping, also says holy jerk chicken and fresh rice and peas.
With coconut in it, not the cream, the real tea.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Hayden Morrison says, big up the kerosene lamp.
Yes.
Yes.
And jokingly, Frequency Event Promotions goes, what is the typical breakfast for your guests? So what is your typical breakfast?
My typical breakfast. Well, this morning I had bacon and eggs with toast. Typically, I have a grandson, and so in Jamaican households, porridge is a big thing. So I find myself making porridge. Yesterday, my auntie sent me a big bunch of plantains. She chopped down in her backyard, and she was saying, so I was saying, Auntie Yvonne, that's a lot of carb. You're gonna eat all of those one time? She goes, no, man, I'll give away some, and then I'm gonna make plantain porridge. So I was reminded that plantain porridge is a thing. So I started to ask her, how you make that again? So you chop up the plantain and you blend it, and then you put it to boil. You might add a little oats for thickening. So porridge is a big thing because of my cartaloo. On the weekends, I will indulge in some ackee and saltfish and fried dumpling and fried roast breadfruit. And fried plantain, of course.
You ever think about opening up a catering service? Man, I think you have a I could do a thing. And I have a move upcoming, and I was thinking of throwing down, because where I live, I have a pretty sizable space in my my porch. I was thinking of having a send-off party, and I might just be doing that. So you guys might get an invitation to come eat. I love that. Eat some food. So all the way from Australia, David Hayes says, I normally watch you on my phone a lot. Tonight I'm watching on the lounge room TV. Big screen, big attention. I love the poetry. That's all the way from Australia.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Hayden goes, wow, to think all this started with the kerosene oil
lamp. Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And grandparents, the wisdom of grandparents, they really made a poet out of me, because the Proverbs.
Just going further, what does family mean to you?
Everything. Everything. They are the wind beneath the sail. They are our biggest champs. I remember I would walk around the house all the time reciting lines, and they would kind of make fun and joke, and so we go back to those. Like when it really just started, I would say things like, come with me, will you, to a place where laughter is free. All this foolishness that I was going on with when I just started. And so my one cousin, I have many, my family, my extended family as well, is very large, and they're in the States, they're in the UK, they're all over, there are lots of them in Jamaica. But this one cousin, he always tell me to make sure me see him on the jumbo jet, cause he sees that in my future, and I'm gonna be about that life. My biggest supporter.
Wonderful. On Track Accounting Solutions has loved that poem. Roger Dundas. I think you know that name.
Jamaica to the world. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You see how we've been mashing up the tracks over the last few days?
Yes.
And I just came back from seeing the Jamaican Prime Minister in New York on the weekend. I went to celebrate the Jamaica Independence Gala. So I got a picture. The Prime Minister came over to our table. The Consul General brought him over. I got a picture with him. I got a picture with the Honorable Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Mrs. Cherie posted and big me up on our Instagram page. Yeah, man. It's I love everything Jamaica, the roots, the you can never forget our roots, right? And I'm big on celebrating the culture.
Wonderful. Ryan Singh says, Nadine, good morning to you, my love.
Good morning, my friend. He's one of my day ones, Ryan Singh. I remember him taking pictures of me. I used to do a show at the Brampton Rose Theatre, and he was my photographer and my Adrian Ryan. Him funny gone to bed, let me tell you.
And also having another addition to the family coming up soon.
Yes. And he has an amazing set of twins there doing amazing work in the film space. And his wife, of course, is a nurse doing amazing work in healthcare. And then he's just it's just about the celebration of our heritage, right? Being the dream that our forefathers forefathers and mothers had for us, right? Doing the work necessary, like to really, it's okay to sit down in a regular, and I'm not knocking anybody's regular full-time job, because bills have to pay. But there's something about the entrepreneurial journey, Mr. Ryan. You would know about that as well, right? The fulfillment. There's a fulfillment in that path, that career path.
Yeah, and I love that someone unlocks the creativity that I think gets suppressed in school. Where now you can every day be thinking of new things to do and to how to serve people. So yeah, I definitely love that.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And look who's coming on Instagram. Someone, Wendy A. Vincent. Yes, Wendy.
Hey.
This is why we're here, Wendy A. Vincent. This is why we're here. Frequency Event Promotions says
G's and P's. Tell me more.
Marjorie Taylor goes, never heard of plantain porridge. Banana porridge, yes, but not plantain. There you go.
Yes, there you go. You learned something new today.
There you go. Frequency says, as I hear Nadine speak, I smell and hear the positive vibrations of Jamaica. It's time to book a flight. Go for it.
Yes, book a flight.
And then Marjorie says, Nadine, this is Marjorie Taylor. I can attest to the challenges in the, quote, early days, unquote. Congratulations on your past and future success.
Thank you, Marjorie. Marjorie used to open her doors to me. So United Achievers, they've changed their name to Roots Community Service. So they used to invite me to their different scholarship events, Black History Month events. So, kudos to these people that would open their stages to me. Rosemary Sadler with the Ontario Black History Society, the BBPA, Pauline Christian, what's the name here? Planet Africa, before it changed to Afro Global. All of these stages, they would open it to me, right? The Jamaican-Canadian Association, all the different alumni associations. So big up to everybody. Continue if me not get too big, me still can't come forward. So continue to send those invitations.
All right. Sophia says we could not do it without our grandparents and parents to instill our culture in us. They are the foundation. # we are one Caribbean BC.
Absolutely.
I want to chat about you're doing stuff with Parks Canada too. I didn't know this. So can you share that with our family?
So it's all a part of the.
Okay. We lost her for a second. She's so excited. It's all right. No problem, family. We'll get her back in a bit. But yes, so people, what energy we have going on this morning. Actually, this gives me a chance to catch up on a few more comments. Frequency Event Promotions goes, Nadine, you are right. Entrepreneurship unlocks your mind. Good morning, Wendy A. Vincent. Thank you for making this epic conversation happen. So we'll wait for Nadine. I think maybe Nadine blew the internet. And Frequency goes, let this specific conversation be a constant reminder that we are creative, powerful, and resources collective. Absolutely. 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 So hopefully we're going to get her back. She's offline at the moment. I hope to get her back. But what are people's Okay, I think we're getting her. She's just got to get her camera going, and we're going to have her back in a second. So, everyone, actually, let's go here. Dr. Tachi's in the house.
Good day, good day.
If we can get it going here. Yeah, let's get on it. Yes, good morning. So that's Dr. Tachi. For those who don't know, the host of Mediascope, the livest online show about media, tech, and pop culture on every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Instagram Live and 6 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, and other platforms. So, and we need to get an update on what's going on with Indie Soup, her independent content network.
Yes.
So we're hoping to get some more updates on that. I don't know. We may or may not get Nadine back. So we have a little bit of a jambalaya until we get her back. If we don't get her back, I think she's provided enough content for shows. And you know what's interesting? Between her and David Archer, I think we should see if we can get them to do intros for the Morning Vibe.
Oh man, that intro, like she said, her book, what, Pen on Fire?
Yes,
that would be a fire intro.
Yeah, we got to reach out to them and say, hey, could you do an intro for us?
Yeah.
Like that would be, and don't even need them. And David, and record separate intros. We got to talk to them and do promos and things like that. That would be amazing. So we've got, I like jambalaya. Go for it. All right, no problem, Dr. Tachi. So Nadine is trying to get in back with us. She just got to get her camera going.
Cool,
okay,
cool.
I thought she's trying. So, there we got. I think we've got something. Oh, okay. So we're gonna give another second for Nadine. I'll jump by. So Sophia Jacob says, "Okay, come on." The software is having some fun with us today. Okay, I think David for sure. What a voice. So there you go, David. The voice of CNN North or the Morning Vibe North. All right. I think we have Nadine back. Though she's on mute. I think she's going on her phone right now. So Nadine, hold on. She's now off again. All right. Frequency Event Promotions goes Vibe and Night. Please take time out to pat yourself on the back. You are all bringing great dialogue to us all. Virtual high five. Hey, we give a high five to everybody.
Yes.
To everybody. To y'all. To y'all. We give it to y'all. So we're gonna give another few minutes. We'll go to Ryan and I can always chat. There's always lots of things to chat about. We'll go to the top of the hour. I think Nadine is back. Okay, Let's see if she's back. Nadine, you back?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yay!
Yes.
I can't hear you though, for some reason.
Oh no, that's on your end.
Oh no.
I'm not really sure what's happening. I've come out and back in a couple times. See if I remove this. No, it's not that.
No?
No.
You can hear me though?
Yes.
Yeah. Can't hear a thing.
Oh no. Okay, so you know what? We are okay. So Nadine, what we're gonna
not really sure why, but I cannot hear.
All right. Maybe if we type into the chat our final question and
can't hear.
Okay.
Maybe we'll utilize the chat to kind of hear what you have to say. So perhaps if you have a question or a comment to me, which is really terrible, I'm not really sure, but we'll just have to improvise. I guess this is technology. About the Parks Project. Cool. So let me talk about the Parks Project. So Parks Canada, they are a part of the whole. So remember I talked about the Historical Sites and Monuments Board. So the nomination goes to Historical Sites and Monuments Board. They do all their preliminary research to make sure that it qualifies. They move it along. They meet and they decide that this is something that's going to be recommended for designation. They then recommend it. The Minister of the Environment in conjunction with Parks Canada. So Parks Canada is responsible for the plaques. So they're the ones that put up the plaques all over. So for example, when I went to Halifax, Nova Scotia, I was met by Parks Canada staff in their nice green shirts and khaki pants. And it just so happened that the board was having its annual meeting in Halifax at the time as well. So I met all the individuals on the board as well. But Parks Canada, they're responsible for putting up the plaques, maintaining the plaques. So Minister of Environment in conjunction with, so Parks Canada falls under the Ministry of the Environment. So that's how they're involved. So it's all under one sort of umbrella. All right, so I'll go back to the chat to see if you say anything else. This is terrible, but it is what it is, you know. Let me come over to the chat. How best can we support you with the work that you do? Nadine, check to see what speaker you have selected. So I have to tell you that of all my skills, tech is not one of them, eh? I am what you call a digital immigrant. My children are digital natives, you know, them born in it. Even my grandson, Carter Lou, when I put a phone before him, he know if he answer phone and all these things. But yeah, I wouldn't really know what to touch. So I'm just gonna work with the chat and please forgive me. What it is, a WhatsApp call was coming in and I hit reject and it sort of threw everything out. Yes, so I'm not really sure. I went in and I closed down all those windows, but in any case, let us not belabor the point. Let me go back to the how best can we digital immigrant? Yes, I learned that. When you learn, you teach. How best can you support this project? Well, I'm hoping to get to 1,000. So I haven't talked much about this art installation in celebration of the International Decade for People of African Descent. I have 120 of them up. And I have to big up my my inaugural sponsor, Hydra One, and their Black Employment Resource Circle. They've donated to the installation of 5 new quilts. So come September, 5 schools throughout Ontario are going to be getting quilts. So I'm aiming to get to 1,000 of these installations, Ryan and Dr. Vibe. I've only done 10%, somewhere thereabouts, right? So we have a little bit of a ways to go. So, you know, you can throw some money on the thing and then say, yo, here's 1,000 quilts, whoops. And then, and the idea as well is to get it internationally. So I heard someone mention that they're from Australia. We're trying to bring a quilt to Australia too. It's an international decade. It's not a Canadian decade. It's internationally. So we want to spread this art installation. So how can you support? You yourself can get an installation. You can sponsor installations. I have registered a foundation, the Nadine Williams Penn Foundation, to be able to facilitate, because we know some people now get individuals money at all. But certainly a not-for-profit organization will get funding in order to facilitate these amazing installations. And I'm hoping to get to at least 1,000. Then next year, when the decade culminates, I'm planning a huge celebratory event that will display all the quilts that's been made, that will bring in foreign dignitaries from all over the world to help us celebrate in large numbers. So we're praying that COVID just turns back and allow for amazing events and gatherings. Let me come back over to the chat. How much is an installation? Talk about the decade. Okay, so let me talk about the decade. The decade is a UN proclamation that Canada adopted in 2018. Its theme is recognition, development, and justice. Speaking of justice, Ontario Police College got an installation. Big up Ontario Police College. So too York Regional Police, huge fans of my work. They made me a star for their Black History Month 5 or 6 years in a row. Made me feel big, make I tell you. And it was in that time that they gave me their Deed Speak Award. Durham Regional Police is a recent justice installation as well. Their youth in policing. And so the idea is that people of African descent, we are a distinct group. This is according to the proclamation, but we already know this, right? Our human rights are to be protected, our cultures promoted and celebrated, and this 10 year is set aside for us to do some real work, right? This art installation, in my view, is a part of reparation. Simple. because I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime. Maybe Carter Lou's lifetime, where we'll see reparations for Black people. So it is, reparations take all sorts of forms, right? So it's not necessarily a check from the government. It is organizations recognizing the work that Black people are doing out here and supporting and offering support for its continuation. That to me is a form of reparation. The prices range for the quilt. I've gotten anywhere from $25,000 for one. And I've also gotten, so there are things that I'll do charitably, right? And so it ranges, but it goes all the way up to $25,000. So I try to work with people's budgets. And it can also come in various forms. The quilts can be printed on canvas. It can be printed on metal. It can be printed on wood. It can be cloth, right? So the installation, it's not just textile. And so it represents the clause in the proclamation erecting monuments at arrival and departure points in countries that's benefited from the transatlantic slave trade. So this is my monument. And then let me see what other questions. What do you do to rest? What do I do to rest? You want to send me a ticket to Jamaica? I love Jamaica bad. Love Jamaica bad. Love Jamaica. What do I do to rest? You know, I have a very comfortable bedroom up there, and I sometimes I stay in bed and work. So I don't lack rest, I wouldn't say. Mm-hmm. But I love solitude. I love country drives. You'll find me go on a country drive. I'll come out and spread a blanket in a park. I'm a little bit different. My Canadian children, we have interesting conversations because, you know, they recognize that I'm a little bit different than what they see out there. So I love solitude. You'll catch me sitting in a park with a blanket and a book and a notepad. You'll see me by the water. Whenever the opportunity arises, I will get on a plane. So that is to answer your business there of rest. But as an entrepreneur, we don't really get to rest, you know. Our brains are kind of like, in my sleep, I'm working because the brain, especially as a creative, my brain's forever conjuring ideas. What can I do next, right? So the rest part is I try to fit it in just in my everyday things. The collective is a group of individuals because I can't quilt, for example. So I'm no quilter. I'm a quilter of words, you see. I can't even stitch a button. So the collective is just pulling on everyone's skill set. So for example, if I got an order to do an installation outdoors, you know, there are amazing artists that does the work outside, like the sculptures or what have you. So it's just bringing in different skill sets to get the job done. Yeah. Sweet. So you have the printer, the designer, the quilter, the seamstress, right? That's all forms a part of the collective. What about Peel Regional Police? You know, so I knock on Peel Regional Police door many times and them never answer me. But they say a prophet is without honor in his own land. You understand? Or what else does it say? Yeah, it's but to really talk about Peel District School Board, they have been the biggest supporter of this project.
Okay.
So when the pandemic hit, you know, in Jamaica, they said dance a yard before you can dance abroad. Because remember, I told you the idea was to put it across international spaces, but the pandemic hit and kind of caused me to cease and settle myself. So right here in Brampton, where I reside, I reached out to the Peel District School Board, and they have been a tremendous support. But the Peel Regional Police, I had placed a proposal before them. It never did hold water. So Ms. Marjorie Taylor, if you have a friend over there you want to talk to them, you know, we'll gladly accept that. I will speak to Toast. I think this says I will speak to Toastmaster. I saw something about Toastmaster. Where is it?
Oh, okay, yes.
Is there a poem you would like to close the show with? Oh, yes. So the fabric of our being is the poem. I'll speak to Toastmaster International President, ask if they can Speak to our international in Anaheim in August 24. Yes, it's our 100 advert. Leave it with me. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. David Hughes. Yes, for sure. Where was I? The fabric of our being. Yes, the poem that started me on this journey. Tightly woven into Canada's fabric, generation strong. Yes, we've been here all along. Certainly not of our own free will, but in search of freedom song. Not newcomers on the fringes as some would have us believe. Look closer to the center, if you please. You will see us living the Canadian dream, once a nightmare to our ancestral stream. Crossing many rivers, valleys, and streams, we've come a mighty long way. Though it's been a hard road to travel, we will not unravel, but will revel in the beauty and multicultural fabric of our home and native land. Generation strong. You best believe we've been here all along, the fabric of our being.
Mm-hmm. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, I do thank you. Let me see chat. What is there? Love it. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you to Convo Media, my PR firm, who's been doing wonderful things for me this month.
Yes.
I'm, in fact, I'm going to doll up because I have 2 events later on, but I'm going to CBC Radio at noon to do an interview there. And then I'm going to the Globe and Mail building. I'm going to be packing my car with my artwork because the poetry comes on canvas and plaqued in all various sizes, and my books. So Globe and Mail between 6 and 8, they're hosting the Black Business and Professional Association tonight, and I am one of the vendors. Me always say, me no vend, me is not a vendor, me no vend. But for the BBPA, I will vend. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and looking forward to seeing you there.
The BASE program have been a huge supporter of mine as well, and I'm appreciative. So big up the BBPA and big up Hydro One. I cannot stress enough the Hydro One Black Employee Resource Circle. They embraced me, and don't underestimate LinkedIn. You know, a lady from LinkedIn recommended me to Hydro One. They were having their inaugural Black Employment Resource Circle event. They invited me to read. I read The Immigrant Child. Yo, may I tell you about that poem, The Kerosene Lamp? Read that poem, and then from there, they encouraged me to apply for their funding. And the application, it wasn't hard enough. That's one of the things. These applications out here, let me tell you, some of them act like you need a PhD to fill them out. But this particular process, it was smoother than butter. Write it down. Hydro One, Black Employment Resource Circle. Smooth like butter. And the conversations that ensued was even smoother. And then they gave me the funding. My inaugural funding for my foundation. Yes. I'm looking for a lot more of the funding, my foundation, in order for me to realize the goal, because I plan to bring in some really big name speakers. I'm not going to call the names yet, but I'm looking at some really, 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 really big names to bring in. But these big name speakers, they require big money. Can I tell you?
Yes.
All right. So let me see what else you guys have said in the chat. We'll see you tonight. Awesome. You're going to be there as well. Wonderful. Yes. Gonna do something with this hair of mine. I woke up and went like, there's nothing like waking up and doing this. All right, so you guys don't know nothing about this. Y'all don't. Maybe your partners can attest to it, But anyways, thank you guys. It's been a splice. Thank you for having me. NadineWilliams.ca, and then I'm all over the socials. Reach out, buy a book. Especially coming off of summer, school's been on break. So I need y'all to buy some books and buy some posters, right? And get some quilts. We're trying to get to 1,000 of them. So I want to thank you again very much for having me this morning and for, this amazing banter. I love it.
Thank you for the vibe.
Thank you for Wendy. I'd have to go back to chat because remember, me can't hear a thing.
Yes.
We'll see you tonight, okay? Thank you guys. Take care. Thank you.
Bye, and thank you so much.
Well, we found a way of making it happen, right?
Exactly. We'll get the information because we definitely want to support it.
Yeah, so those who were watching on Instagram, I'm going to end it now. I thought we're just trying to get her as much as possible on, and as always, You can catch the replay. Go to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Subscribe, notification. Remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That was a conversation.
Absolutely.
That was a conversation. That is epic. Absolutely. So some things I'm going to just put up some. And David Hughes, yes, do see if you can get her to share at the conference. He says, I feel a little connected as I am Welsh, and Williams is a surname very familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, Williams was the second most popular surname in Wales. My surname Hughes was the third. Opal Inspired goes, love all the collaboration and working together. Marjorie says, let's talk, Nadine. Hopefully, keep up the great work. Nadine, Marjorie Taylor, clap hands. Fitness IQ, love the conversation. Y'all made it work. Well, you know about our people, we find a way.
Yes.
Right? We find a way. So I'm glad for all the, and this is why we're family. You guys hung in despite all the technical challenges. You stuck it out. So we appreciate that. And Nadine also, wasn't she fantastic? Wasn't she fantastic?
Oh man, yes.
Like that open, I was out of bounds. That was out of
we have to
bounds.
apologize to like our upcoming guests because we might ask them for a poem now. I mean, you gotta keep the bar there. Be like, yo, what you got? Like, what you got?
So that was like amazing. Phenomenal. That was phenomenal. That was just so amazing. So amazing.
Absolutely.
Well, family, let's see.
And Wendy.
Yes, and Fitness IQ Cam. When there's a will, there is a way. Thank you, Fitness IQ Cam. And L. Brian Jenkins. Yeah, adapt and overcome. Love that. Absolutely. Love that. Adapt and overcome. Well, family, what's going on in your weekend? There's our contact information. I'm going to take it off, but you should have it. If you don't, I'm wondering what's going on with you. So what's going on for Ryan this weekend?
Well, I was asking the question because I'm very interested in learning more about the installation. So we'll definitely take that back to the team and see how we can support. This evening, I'm glad to hear that she's going to be at the BBPA event at the Globe and Mail. I'll be there to support, and thank you to the BBPA team for the invite. So looking forward to that. And then this weekend, we have the graduation of our Delta Family Resource Center youth entrepreneurship participants. So they're going to be presenting tomorrow in person. So
okay. I was going to say, I thought both of these were tonight going, you're going to split yourself in half
tomorrow.
Again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then also Rest Centers has their AGM. So shout out to Dogma who runs Rest, which helps youth coming out of care go into housing. So we're going to be speaking at that tomorrow as well.
You know, it's an interesting thing you talk about. And as you can see in the bottom, you can watch replays of the Morning Vibe on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and Facebook. Afro Caribbean Business Network, Facebook and YouTube, and Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube and LinkedIn. We need to have a conversation in the future about Blacks and housing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would say Blacks coming out of care as well, like that whole system. We have to have a conversation about that.
Yes.
Links to housing, but kind of separate, but they interconnect.
Well, the thing is too, and this is why we treat you as family. If you have any people that you feel that should be on this platform, please share them with us, because we would like to have them on. Like we love having the David Archers, the Nadine Williams, the Roger Dundas, the Wayne Harris, the Ray McMillans, but there's more out there.
Right.
And there's and a lot of, I'm going to be honest, a lot of times these people don't get on mainstream media, let alone Black media. That's a whole other conversation, right? So we, bring it to our attention, these people, because there are a lot of unsung heroes out there. It's really important. And Nadine is going on LinkedIn. She's on her LinkedIn game.
Thank you.
Thanks again for 1,000. Well, no problem, Nadine. Thank you for tolerating us with your digital challenges. We found a way.
Yes.
David A. Hughes, he's strong from Australia today. I have a friend, Honora Pereira. He's in Toronto. He runs a cricket academy and is connected globally. I will ask him to watch your show. He's not from the Caribbean, though he has just set up a travel agency in Toronto. I'm thinking of sponsorship for your show.
Yeah,
thank you.
the intro, please, and thank you. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's cool. Speaking about, there was a cricket match, Jamaica versus Trinidad and Tobago last Saturday.
Okay,
that I interviewed the council. It was in Brampton.
Oh wow!
In your former backyard, actually. I interviewed the council generals from Jamaica and TNT a few days before that match happened. It happened last Saturday in Brampton, so it's all good. Fitness IQ camp. I'll try my best to do what I don't know, but I know you're going to try your best. Christopher Lawrence, great show. Christopher Lawrence, you and I had an offline conversation a few days ago. Just know how that is coming along, or if it's going to come along. There we go. I don't think we've got anything else for today. I think that is it. Yeah. So for everybody, first and foremost, thanks for taking the most valuable thing you have to share with us, your time. That's the most important thing. One other comment. Oh, look at this. David Hay says, I saw part of that game. One of your former guests mentioned it. Yes. Yes. So thank you for the support. And Christopher goes, stay tuned for more information. Okay, about what we talked about? Yes, okay, we can do that. All right, so let's do some house things before we kick it for the day. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also, please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Actually, I don't know if he's watching live. I'd love, if he can, Roger Dundas to come on and talk about the tete-a-tete that the Canadian government's having with Facebook.
Oh boy, this is getting, and Google as well is blocking.
And Google,
content.
Again, it's something I don't fully understand, but Roger is at a next level in regards to something, because now he's saying, like, sites like Bag Blacks, he's telling, like, here's an interesting situation. I talked about a conversation I had with the Council General of Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, and I had it set up to broadcast on the Bag Blacks YouTube and Facebook channel. It didn't go on their Facebook channel because of this tete-a-tete that's going on. That's what he figures. It didn't get broadcast on their Facebook channel. So Roger, if you're listening live on the replay, I'd love you to come on, because you've explained it to me, but I think a lot of Canadians, period, need to know about this, because it's a serious thing, because it impacted some of the coverage of the news of the fires that were going on in Yellowknife and British Columbia.
Wow. Okay.
So would be great if could happen. There we go. Ryan, I see you. Keep up the great work, sir. He does all the work. I'm just fodder. Fitness IQ, Google as well. Yes. Yep. You're right. And Vibe, once again, great job. Well, it's hard work. It's not hard work. So there's where we go from. So that's it. Another edition of the Morning Vibe is done. And one other thing, on Monday, another great conversation coming up. This Monday show, Dr. Tamari Katosa, Associate Professor of Sociology at Brock University, is going to be here about his book, Appealing Because He is Appalling, Black Masculinities, Colonialism, and Erotic Racism.
Okay.
So it's going to be a serious topic. And actually, Ryan, I should get you, I'm going to send you a copy of that book so you have a little bit of prep for it, because it's another light conversation topic, you know?
Right.
So,
all
right. So that's what's coming up on Monday. Thank you, everybody, for taking, again, the time. So as always, to close off with this, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher and wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace, and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. If you're watching this somewhat live, have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday. And subscribe, and even better, tell other people about us. Be well and keep
and like it right now.
Yes,
you're on watching, hit that
like it right now, because once it finishes, you're gonna forget about us, especially my shiny head. You remember, you'll remember Ryan's nice sandy gray beard, but you won't remember the shiny head. Take care, family. Be well.